Welcome to Saturday Night Lights podcast, your home for college football. I'm Alec, joined by Bradley. Let's dive right in. Tonight on the show, we've got our top 15. We've got our top 15 teams, top 15 players, Heisman after week 5, and a lot more. So, let's get started. Bradley, you go over your top 15 first.
Top 15 teams, buddy? I could do that.
Yes.
I'll start at 15 and go up to 1. I hate this team with every ounce of my being, but they're in my top 15. It's Tennessee. The Volunteers are at number 15. My 14th team, and I think this team could possibly be the Big Ten champion when it's all – or not the Big Ten, the Big 12, is Iowa State. They are a menace. They are a good football team. I have LSU. I know they lost to Ole Miss over the weekend, but they're still in my top 15. I have Georgia next, and I know they lost to Alabama. Their winning streak at home is done. Texas Tech's another team, I guess, that you could throw into the Big 12 conversation at the end of the season. Number 10 is Alabama. Texas is number 9. Indiana, just I don't know. Indiana's off the chain, man. They are a good football team too. Again this year. And then you have the team that I think we all hope that we're supposed to beat Oregon, but didn't. But I have Penn State at number 7. I have Texas A&M at 6. Oklahoma at 5. You got to put Ole Miss up there, beating LSU. Miami didn't play. They have a very, very, very big game Saturday against FSU in Tallahassee. The battle of Miami and Florida State. And then Oregon, come on, they beat Penn State on the road, the whiteout game. And then, of course, the Buckeyes at 1. I mean, at this point, until they get beat, I don't know how you can't have them at number 1.
My top 15. Number 15 is BYU. And I think both of us in the preseason were wrong on BYU. We were doubting them because they didn't have a quarterback. And as we see now, Bear Bachmeier is not too shabby.
Not at all. Not at all.
Number 14, and I know LSU fans are not going to like this. Number 14, I have LSU. And yes, I know they barely lost to Ole Miss, but LSU's going to bounce back. And I don't get the people that are saying, oh, Garrett Nussmeier looks like he's hurt. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Who knows? Number 13, Penn State. Sorry, Penn State fans. And I don't blame Penn State fans for saying, and Joe, we will get to your question in a second. But I don't blame Penn State fans. I don't know if you heard, they were chanting, all the students and fans were chanting, fire Franklin.
They're tired of losing big games.
They're 4, I think going into Saturday, they were 4-21 in big games with Franklin as a head coach. If that doesn't tell you all you need to know.
Right there. Yep.
I don't know what does. Number 12, Florida State. Big game this week against Miami. And I can see it going either way. Number 11, a surprise to most people, USF. I still think USF is a top 15 team in college football. I think everybody is just doubting them.
Can't wait
because they got I can't either because they got creamed by Miami, which Miami, don't get me wrong, Miami is a good team. Number 10, and I'm moving to this state in less than 2 weeks. It is the University of Tennessee Volunteers. Joey Aguilar. Number 9. You had him in the top 10. I have him in the top 10 as well. Indiana. I don't think they're a joke.
No, I don't.
And I don't think it's a fluke. I think it's for real. You know, there's people out there that want to say, oh, no, Indiana's played nobody. They just played Illinois and beat Illinois 63-10. And then they beat Iowa 27-15. And the only reason it wasn't, and it was in Kinnick, which we all know playing in Kinnick, just ask Ohio State or Michigan State fans. It is not a fun environment to play in.
Nope.
And as we like to say, Iowa is just that little bug.
That
you
will not
swat them away, and they're gone.
Nope.
No. Number 8, and I'm surprised Bradley didn't have this team in his top 15. Texas Tech.
I did 11, buddy. I am at 11.
Oh.
Yep.
I must have been sidetracked.
No problem, but no, that's okay. I have them at 11. Mm-hmm.
Texas Tech might be the team that beats Iowa State. Number 7, and I know this team lost their quarterback, and we'll probably talk about him later on in the show, Oklahoma. And I don't think they're a pushover in the SEC either. Number 6. I'm ready to hear it from Georgia fans. Number 6 is Georgia. Oh, wait, I skipped 7. No, I didn't. Never mind. I got ahead of myself. Number 6 is Georgia. That Georgia defense looks like a shell of its 2019 to 2023 self. And that's putting it nicely, Georgia fans. That pass rush is just awful. They can't get any pressure on the quarterback. They let Ty Simpson sit back there and just carve him up. Number 5. Welcome to the top 5. Oregon. They got a big game. I think it's either this week or next week against Indiana.
Let's take a look. I think it's next week. Let me look. I'll look, but while you keep talking about it.
The other thing with Oregon is Dante. I'm not going to say I was wrong on Dante Moore, but I think my points I made in the preseason were kind of a little bit off base.
Mm-hmm.
I should have looked into it more. And
next week, buddy, is the Oregon-Indiana game. It's on 3:30 on CBS next week. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, that's number 4 is Miami. They don't get punished for not playing, obviously. Number 3, Ole Miss. And you could tell me if I'm wrong on this. I don't think it matters who's at quarterback for Ole Miss. Whether it's Trinidad Chambliss or Austin Simmons. Because Lane Kiffin, and just ask Whit Weeks of LSU that had that little excuse me on the field?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard Kiffin say anything about this, but earlier in the week, last week, he said that how comes every time that Alabama and LSU play us at home, it's always a day game, but when we play them, it's always a night game. Well, if you beat them, and Lane did that, beat LSU, maybe you'll get a night game now, Lane. Stop complaining about it. Play when you're supposed to play. Maybe you'll get a night game next season against LSU.
Yep.
Exactly.
Number 2, Georgia Tech. We talked about them last week on the show. They're for real. They are no joke, even though they barely won last week. And number 1, and obviously Brad said this perfectly, until they lose, Ohio State will be number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And now we are going to give our headline from the weekend. What is your headline?
Same old for James Franklin and the Penn State Nittany Lions. That's there's my headline. I thought about that today. when you sent me the notes, but I'm like, yeah, I got to talk about it. I'm the one who picked them to beat Oregon last week because, they're going to finally – no, still not getting over the hump. So I got to –
My headline is a two-parter. One, finally, Sam Pittman fired at Arkansas. Two, scapegoat named interim coach.
Bobby Petrino. Yep.
And get this, there's already people saying that if they win games that they're not supposed to win, Bobby Petrino could be the head coach going into next year. I think it's safe to say that this is all because of us. Do we not? Deep down, do we think maybe there's an insider for Arkansas that watches the show?
Well, Bud, we've been talking about that for like the past few weeks. It wasn't like we just brought that up. We've talked about that since we did our hot seat on our coaches, and we said Petrino's waiting in the wings, and
here it is.
Here we go. So yeah.
So here's a brief recap of Week 5 of college football. Obviously, the big game was Oregon and Penn State and LSU Ole Miss. What is your takeaway from Ole Miss LSU?
Ole Miss, again, I think a lot of us downplayed how good of a football team they are. Of course, obviously they lost Jackson Dart to the Giants, and he is now the starting quarterback. So welcome to the Dart era in New York. But they were just a better team, and Brian Kelly better watch too, because he might be the next coach in the SEC that gets the boot. Because again, if he's not able to win these games when you need to win them, he's out. He's going to be out soon too at LSU. So, I mean, that's my take on the Ole Miss LSU game. I mean, Ole Miss was the better football team, and they got the win. So there you go.
Completely agree. And what about Penn State and?
Well, once again, here we are again, like my headline. For some off-the-wall reason, I don't know what it is with James Franklin. He can't win a big game, against a team that I just don't know. I don't know what it is with him, and until he can win a big game, he may not even survive that next chance, because as Alex said, they were cheering fire him, because I'm sure the alumni and students are pissed off that they're not winning these games when they're supposed to win. Because how do you compete for a Big Ten championship if you can't beat Oregon, you can't beat Ohio State, you can't beat Michigan, you can't beat Michigan State? You can't win a Big Ten championship unless you beat these teams. So
Michigan, Nebraska.
I forgot about the Cornhuskers. Yeah, I mean, until you beat these guys, no, dude, you're not. Short leash with him too.
Yeah. Colin, I see your comment. Go Bills. Go Bills. I agree with everything you said. And add on, thing is, if Penn State does get rid of Franklin, who would they hire? Does Dabo leave Clemson? His name keeps getting thrown around for all the big time jobs. and we'll get into Virginia Tech and Arkansas in a little while, because rapid fire topics are coming up. And actually, before we get to rapid fire topics, we have an announcement to make for 2027. It is with great pride and exuberance that we announce in 2027. I know the poll is still open, and I said it was going to be open until January, but this is us making the decision now. In 2027, we will be going to Appalachian State, Boise State in Boone, North Carolina.
I like that.
And Chris, I see your comment. Texans winning the Super Bowl. I mean, their division is not very good.
The Colts, Daniel Jones, don't sell Daniel Jones down the river quite yet.
Okay, not yet, but yeah. What are the two topics you chose to talk about tonight?
The first one, Bud, is Alabama's big win. Again, ending Georgia's winning streak at home. And I have always said too that the new big dog in the SEC was Georgia. Well, Alabama may just have knocked them off the top of the mountain. It might be Texas. It might even be Alabama.
Well, let me say this. People are trying to say, Texas should be on upset alert this week against Florida.
No, I'm sorry, and I'm a Gator fan. Texas is going to maul the Gators in the swamp this week. It's not even going to be a ball game. The Gators are not that good of a football team. Their offense is in shambles. No way they beat Tech. I know I said the same thing about Virginia not beating Florida State last week too, but still.
Both of us did.
Yeah, no, I mean, no. No. Virginia is a better football team than I think we give them credit for. We talk about that later too. The other one, but is upset losses in rankings, and it says other major upsets include Notre Dame losing to Arkansas. Then they fired their head coach and hired Petrino. And the rankings are shifting with Ole Miss, Oregon, Alabama making significant climbs in the rankings. So those are my two big topics. And again, those three teams deserve it too. Oregon beating Penn State on the road, Ole Miss beating LSU, and then Alabama going on the road to beat Georgia at home. So, yeah.
The two topics I have is the first one, and as everybody knows by the hat, is Virginia Tech back? Did all it take for them to win a game was firing Brent Pry? And you can chime in. I'm gonna say yes. I think firing Brent Pry was the right decision. And I think he should have been gone after the South Carolina game, to be honest. And I think Philip Montgomery is a better interim head coach than Brent Pry was for the last 3 years as head coach at Virginia Tech. What are your thoughts?
No, I agree. Sometimes in cases, guys, with pros or with college football, when a coach loses the locker room, okay, say they lose a locker room or whatever, if they lose the locker room, it's hard to come back. And sometimes all kids want to hear is a new voice. Well, they got a new voice at Virginia Tech, but everything seems to be right back on track again for the Hokies. So sometimes it's just a change of voice in the locker room.
Yeah.
To help you bounce back.
Dare I say, though, can we rule them out for winning the ACC? Yes or no?
I think it's a little too early to rank anyone out at this moment. I know Miami and Florida State are going to make a huge impact this weekend, but I don't think you can rule them out because I don't even think you can really rule out Clemson. I know they're 1-3 at the moment, but you can't rule them out either because we don't know how the rest of the season is going to go and how, now that the conference games are off of full tilt, we don't know what's going to happen,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Injuries can happen and, everything can happen like that. So,
yeah. And then my second topic that I'm going to talk about is who should Arkansas's next head coach be? And again, more than welcome to chime in. I'll let you go first on this topic.
I'm going to say Bobby Petrino. I'm going to say the interim coach. He was there before. He knows the program. He knows how to recruit. Why not just leave him where he is and leave it at that and let him see. Now, if he fails, then different story. But I think it should be his team until something, changes. But yeah, I would say probably Petrino.
I would agree 100%. I would say either Bobby Petrino or there's people throwing Matt Patricia out there. I don't think Matt Patricia wants to be a head coach again. If you see what he's doing with Ohio State's defense,
we saw it against Texas. I think he had Arch spooked right from the get-go.
He had the same thing with the game last week against Washington. He had Damon Williams poof too.
Yeah.
And I don't think many people know this stat. Ohio State, through the first 4 games they've played, they've given up a grand total of 5.5 points. And everybody, and we kind of already, I think Bobby Petrino is probably going to end up being the next head coach for Arkansas. But to stay on the Ohio State topic for a minute, everybody was like, "Oh, this hiring Patricia, it's gonna backfire." Where are the Matt Patricia haters at now? 5.5 points given up, and I think they've given up less than 300 total yards.
Something like that.
In every game. Now we get to our top 15 players through 5 weeks of the college football season, and we will rotate. I will let Bradley go first with his number 15.
I'm going to go with Malik Washington, the quarterback at Maryland. Again, another one of those teams that I think has surprised us so far this season so far. I think he's living up to his expectations there in Maryland. I don't think a lot of people had a lot of high expectations for the Terrapins, but I'm going to take him at 15.
My number 15 is a guy that has an interesting backstory. Jamari Taylor from UVA, running back. I didn't know this, and until I was watching the Virginia-Florida State game on Friday last week, and every time Jamari Taylor carried the ball, they would tell you his story. And it's an interesting one. He was a walk-on at a FCS school, and now he's the starting running back at Virginia. If that doesn't tell you how much this kid wants to play football, I don't know what to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Who is your number 14 player?
Also a quarterback from California. Bear with me if I don't pronounce this man's name correctly.
I know who it is.
Jaron Kawhi Singapote. I'm not even sure I'm sorry if I butchered that name. But
everybody calls him JKS.
I like that. We'll just call him JKS. That's a lot easier to repeat. Again, Cal, another team that not a lot of us thought too well of to start the season. But again, he's proving, and he's young. He's a freshman. He's young. So you're going to make mistakes. And if you can learn from your mistakes, then I could see him being the long-time starter for the Bears moving forward.
My number 14 player is also a quarterback at Western Kentucky. Favorite name to say, Maverick McIver. Kid was at an FCS school, Incarnate Word, last year. And we know what Incarnate Word's produced. Look at Cam Ward. Mr. McIver's a senior. And hopefully he can help Western Kentucky win one more Conference USA title before they head over to the MAC next year.
Mm-hmm.
Who is your number 13 player?
Bryce Underwood at Michigan.
No.
And again, the Wolverines have only lost one game so far this season. Yeah, he's got a lot to prove. Again, another young kid, but that's who I have at my number 13.
My number 13 player, and Alabama fans are not going to like how low I have this guy. It is wide receiver Ryan Williams. And the only reason he's this low is because I feel like there's 13 other players that are better than him. Not saying he's probably the second best wide receiver in college football. Obviously, I think everybody knows who the first one is.
Yeah.
And I think both of us have him on our list, and we will get to him in a few minutes. Who is your number 12 player?
Wide receiver Malachi Toney of Miami, the Miami Hurricanes. Come on, guys. I mean, we all thought, the Miami Hurricane offense is a force, and it will be a force that Florida State is going to have to try to stop on Saturday night. And this asking Hurricane fans or asking Florida State fans who they hate more. It's a 50-50 poll with the Gators and the Hurricanes, but a lot of them hate Miami because it's a conference game. So they hate Miami because it's a conference game and it means more. So we'll see how that rivalry mixes up this Saturday. And I think it's a 7:30 kickoff.
It is. My number 12 player is USF quarterback, dual threat quarterback, Byrum Brown. And everybody can say, oh, you're just being a homer. No, I'm not. I actually watch college football, quite a bit of it. Both of us do. And Bradley can back me up on this. He covers USF.
I'll be there on Friday. I'm looking forward to it.
Byrum Brown is one of the best, dare I say, group of 5 quarterbacks in college football.
Here's a photo of him and Coach Golish on the field from the game against South Carolina State. I'll text that to you, Blitz, so you can see it more up close. But a friend of mine, photographer that goes with me to the games, took that photo and sent it to me. So I'm a Byrum Brown fan too.
Who is your number 12 player?
I have 2 at number 12 because it was hard for me to pick between these 2 guys. They're both the defensive ends from Maryland, Zaire Mathis and Sidney Stewart. Again, offensively good. You got to have a good defense or at least a decent defense. Maryland has a decent defense. That's why I have these 2 at that spot.
My number 11 player is quarterback Malik Washington from Maryland. And Brad kind of said it earlier. This kind of came out of nowhere. I don't think this kid was supposed to start this year for Maryland. I think they were supposed to start Justin Martin, a transfer from UCLA, and Malik Washington just straight up beat him out for the job.
Mm-hmm.
Who is your number 11 player?
Is quarterback Bear Buckmeyer, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, from BYU.
You are.
Alec talked about them when he ranked his teams. BYU is no joke. He's no joke either. So, and you got to have a good quarterback. He's off to a 4-0 start. He's completing 70% of his passes. For a college, that's amazing. So that's why he's in my top 15.
My number 10 is wide receiver Jordan Tyson from Arizona State. And I know what Arizona State fans are going to say. Oh, then you must have Sam Levitt on your thing. Sam Levitt he would have been an honorable mention, but he just missed out. But Jordan Tyson missed all of the end of last year, but I think Jordan Tyson might be the second receiver taken in the draft this upcoming draft, behind maybe Carnell Tate, or I don't think Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams aren't eligible yet. Who's your number 10 player?
Wide receiver DeCorian Moore from Oregon, as we saw this past week, them beating Penn State. He led Oregon with 7 receptions for 89 yards in their overtime win.
Double overtime
win. Again, Oregon's got a good wide receiver depth, but this is the guy that's at the top of the list. So
my number 9 player is John Mateer, quarterback, Oklahoma. This kid might win the Heisman. I know he's going to be out a couple weeks with a hand injury, but I still feel like John Mateer is going to do special things at Oklahoma. Who is your number 9 player?
Demarius Samuel Jr., the cornerback for Syracuse. And I know big win over Clemson. He was one of the reasons why in that 34-21 win. He had 18 total tackles or combined tackles in that game. So he's definitely on this. And again, a young kid. So yes, he's my number 10. Or number
My
9.
number 9. My number 8 is quarterback Ty Simpson, Alabama. Simple. 2 words. Game manager. That when he needs to, he can chuck the ball down the field. Who is your number 8 player?
Cornerback Grayson Littleton from Texas. Again, we all know the Longhorns got off to a bad start of the season. Obviously, losing to Ohio State on the road. They've bounced back since then. And, Oklahoma's good. I can't wait to see the Red River shootout in a couple of weeks when it's Texas, Oklahoma, because that's always a big game every year. So looking forward to that, seeing how he does against the Sooners.
My number 7 player is Demond Williams, quarterback, Washington. This kid is putting himself in rare company. I know they didn't beat Ohio State, and there's a lot of people that were predicting Washington to beat Ohio State. Well, we like to call those people, they may know ball, but they don't know how good Ohio State is. But anyway, Demond Williams, Washington, you got your next great quarterback. Who is your number 7 player?
Probably going to take a lot of slack for picking this guy, or not picking this guy, but picking the team that he's on. Vernell Brown III, the wide receiver from the Florida Gators. He is the 3rd true freshman to start as an opener, joining Antonio Callaway and Percy Harvin. He is also, in 4 games, he is second among true freshmen in receptions and total yards behind Kadarius Toney. So, yes, he has the ingredients to be an SEC star. If he stays with the Gators, that I don't know. But at this point, he's still with the Gators. But I have him there in my top. That's my number 6 guy. Yeah.
7, you mean?
7, yep.
Number 6, I've got Dean Connors, running back, Houston. He's one of the reasons Houston has actually had a good season this year. And both of us can admit that we were wrong.
Yep.
We were wrong. I think all it took is Coach Fritz to get a quarterback. That's the issue Houston had last year. The same with the running game. The running game was atrocious last year. And now they got Dean Connors and Connor Wegman. Houston might be a sleeper for the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
For all we know. Who is your number 6?
I'm going to take Dylan Stewart from the South Carolina Gamecocks. South Carolina, I think maybe thought overhyped him a little bit, but he's still a good part of that defense. So I'm going to put him in my top 15.
Okay, my number 5 is quarterback Sawyer Robertson from Baylor. This kid might be a sleeper for the Heisman. Look at what he's done through 4 games for Baylor. And he's the reason Baylor is, I don't know, I feel like Baylor's getting disrespected. Baylor should be ranked. Who is your number 5 player?
Quarterback Tommy Castellanos from Florida State. The Noles would not be where they are without him, and he's going to get truly tested, that Miami defense, on Saturday night.
Yes. My number 4 player is running back, and I love this name, Lamar Bo Jackson, Ohio State. This kid is something special, I tell you. He's kind of taking a job from C.J. Donaldson, who transferred in. And dare I say, the next great running back for a school that knows how to produce wide receivers, and now maybe they know how to produce running backs. Travion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins, Bo Jackson, maybe Lamar Bo Jackson, maybe next. James Peoples. Who is your number 4 player?
Is Arch Manning. Yeah, he struggled in week 1, but since then, the kid's showing why he really is who he is. And they got a test on Saturday in the swamp in Gainesville, but I don't think he's going to have any issues on Saturday.
My number 3 player is quarterback Devin Dampierre from Utah. This is another kid that could be a sleeper for the Heisman. Utah was another team I think we could say we were kind of missed our point in the preseason on. Who is your number 3?
Number 3 is Dante Moore, the quarterback from Oregon. Again, how can you not put him in your top 15, especially after last week with them going on the road and beating Penn State?
My number 2 player is safety from Ohio State, Caleb Downs. And people want to say, oh, he was produced by Bama. Well, he's on Ohio State, and he's the reason Ohio State won the national championship last year. One of the main reasons. And he's leading that Ohio State defense again. That, of course, as we said earlier in the show, has only given up a whopping 5.5 points per game. Mm-hmm. If that doesn't tell you how good that... And Matt Patricia's working a masterclass on that defense.
Uh-huh.
Good luck to the Big Ten. Good luck to Minnesota this week.
Reminds me when he was the defense coordinator for the Patriots during their heyday, because that was their defensive coordinator under Bill Belichick.
Good luck to Minnesota this week. And all these people that want to say, oh, Minnesota's going to go into Columbus and beat Ohio State. It's a night game in Columbus.
No.
Ask Tennessee what happens when you go into the shoe at night.
Yeah. Yep.
Who is your number 2 player?
Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback from Indiana. Again, they're no joke. They were no joke last year. I know a lot of people wrote them off after they lost to the Buckeyes. They're no joke. Cignetti's got this team rolling in the right direction, and Mendoza could be a Heisman Trophy finalist when it's all said and done as well. So we'll see.
My number 1 player, and I think this is kind of obvious, this would be everyone's number 1, and he'd probably be the number 1 pick in the draft if he could come out this year. Wide receiver, Jeremiah J.J. Smith from Ohio State. Kid broke a lot of records as a freshman, and I think he's in store to break more as a sophomore. Who is your number 1 player?
You just named him, buddy. You just named him. I'm not gonna. Yeah, that's who I have my number 1 as well.
Okay. Now we get to game picks, everybody. Game picks and chances of an upset. And we're going to start in the Big 12. And we start on Friday night. A little Big 12. Can we coin the Big 12, the new Pac-12, and say anything can happen with Big 12 after dark?
Mm-hmm.
West Virginia, BYU, Friday night, 10:30 p.m. Who are you taking, and is there any chance West Virginia can pull the upset?
No, I'm going to take BYU. I don't think so. I would say no chance of an upset. I know the Mountaineers are – yeah, but it's BYU.
I was dumb, and I did a separate podcast that I do by myself last week, and I picked West Virginia to beat I don't remember who they played last week. It might have been Kansas State. And I picked West Virginia to – no, it was Kansas. They played Kansas last week, and I picked them to win. And because it's Rich Rod, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pick Rich Rod, and they got blown out. I'm not doing that again. Give me BYU.
Okay.
And no, I don't think there's a chance of an upset. Now, we could be wrong. UCF, Kansas. Any chance of an upset here, and who are you taking? It's Saturday night at 7:30.
Hate to say this, I'm taking the Knights. I'm taking the Knights. I think that there could be a chance because Kansas is the favorite, so I'll take the Knights in the upset. I think there's a slight chance of an upset, and I could be wrong, and Kansas could go to Orlando and you know what to UCF. So
Take them out to the woodshed, and
yep.
I'm also gonna say UCF, but I'm gonna say UCF and the points because it's only 4.5, which seems low, and I do think there is a slim but possibly chance of an upset. Iowa State and Cincinnati. I want to say this. How the heck is Cincinnati 3-1?
Good question.
Do we have an insider on that watches the show that tells Cincinnati, oh, everybody's picking against you? And the thing I've seen with this game is everybody thinks that Iowa State is going to go in there and they're going to lay an egg and Cincinnati's going to win.
I don't see that happening.
I'm going to say I think it's wishful thinking. What about you?
Yeah, well, and being that the Bearcats are the favorite in the game, yeah, I'll take Iowa State in the upset.
Yeah, I will too. Iowa State in the upset. Same thing as we did last week after we get off.
Yeah.
Can you go back over and watch it?
Sure.
And you can give the records out after we're done from last week.
Okay.
I'm also, like I said, I'm also taking Iowa State. 1.5. How is Cincinnati even favored? Scott Satterfield should have been fired by now. Baylor, Kansas State. I'm going to coin a phrase here. Things are going to get wacky in Waco.
Very true.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'm not talking about what happened back in the 80s. I'm talking about football-wise. With that being said, who are you taking? Any chance of an upset?
No, I'll take the Bears all the way across the board, bud.
I'm also going to take Baylor. Oof. Here's another team. How are they 3-1? Arizona.
Yeah, I don't think we had them winning many games when we picked during the preseason.
No, I think we had them winning 2 and Brett Brennan getting.
Yeah, I'm going to take them here. Oklahoma State's going through obviously a coaching change. I'm taking the Wildcats at home. I know they're the favorite too, so I would give Oklahoma State maybe a shot in the dark as an upset, but I don't know.
I would say shot in the dark as well. Arizona's a 20.5 point favorite.
Right.
That would be embarrassing if Oklahoma State goes in there and just beats them.
Yeah.
Here's the good game at 7 o'clock on ESPN. Texas Tech, Houston.
Ooh, undefeated teams.
2 undefeated. Somebody's going to get their first loss. Who is it? And is there any chance of an upset?
I'm going to take Texas Tech. I do think there's a chance for an upset. Houston's a good football team. Like you said, someone's got to lose. So it might be Houston, but I could be totally wrong, and it could be Texas Tech.
It's happening. I see an upset. Houston over Texas Tech. And Texas Tech fans, I know you're not going to like that. I'm not going to say Texas Tech has been a lucky 4-0, but I think there has been some luck, especially their game against Utah where they lost their quarterback and had the backup come in and lead them to a win. And then the last one, TCU in the Big 12, the last one is TCU, Colorado. I'm going to go first. There's no chance there's an upset here at all. Colorado, I think they figured out the quarterback, but then again, Dion could just play musical chairs and put in Ryan Staub again. So give me TCU and a laugher.
I know I agree with you across the board, but I'll take the Horned Frogs as well.
Give me Hypnotoad. The ACC. Oh, lovely. Boston College and Pitt. Any chance of an upset here, and who are you taking?
No, I'll take the Panthers. I know they're not off to a fantastic start this year. I don't think there's any shot in the dark that Boston College pulls off an upset.
I'm also taking Pitt. No chance of an upset. Clemson, North Carolina.
Well, the Tigers are the favorite in Chapel Hill. Yeah, Dabo Sweeney. I think this is where they get their second win of the season. North Carolina's a mess under Belichick, so give me the Tigers. Slight chance they pull an upset.
I want to say upset, but I feel like this is where Clemson gets right. And shot in the dark that there's an upset, but I think Clemson wins. Wake Forest and Virginia Tech. Well, Tech is a 6.5 point favorite. Who are you taking? Any chance of an upset?
No, I'm going to take the Hokies across the board. I don't think Wake can. I think this is where the Hokies get back to 500. So I'll take Vautech.
Give me Vautech, and there is no shot that this is going to be an upset. If it is, then Philip Montgomery should not be allowed in the building on Monday. Not saying that Wake Forest is bad. That just proves if they do lose that they need somebody that knows how to coach.
Mm-hmm.
Campbell and NC State. I think this is easy. There's no line. There's no total.
Wolfpack.
Give me NC State. Louisville and Virginia at 3:30 on ESPN2. Any chance of an upset, and who are you taking?
I'm gonna put Louisville on upset alert. I'm gonna take the Cavaliers after their win last week against Florida State.
I'm also gonna take Virginia and put Louisville on upset alert. Here's another decent game in the ACC. 3-2 Syracuse, 2-2 SMU. Is SMU gonna pull the? Oh no, they're the favorite. Who do you have any chance of an upset?
I'm gonna take the Mustangs. No, I don't think there's a chance for an upset.
No chance of an upset here either. SMU for me. Miami, Florida State.
I think that the Noles overlooked last week's game because they are looking forward to this one. Miami wins on the road, but it's a very, very close football game. The line's only 4.5. There is a chance that Florida State could pull the upset, but I'm going to take Miami in a close win.
So you're saying shot in the
yeah.
Okay. I'm going to take it's happening. I think Miami finally gets their first loss of the year. As long as they don't get bailed out by officiating. Because we all know the ACC ACC referees love them some Miami. Just ask Virginia Tech last year.
Yep.
And ask everybody that's played Miami this year. I think it's happening. Florida State's going to upset Miami, Duke, and Cal at 10:30 on Saturday night. Any chance of an upset? Who are you taking?
Who's the favorite?
Duke by -2.5.
Yeah, give me the Blue Devils. I don't think there's a chance for an upset.
I'm going to say Duke, and I do think there's a shot in the dark that there's an upset because Cal's at home, and Duke's got to travel across the country. So maybe, but I think Duke wins. Let's speed this up. We are going to do the Big Ten next, and then finish there, and then do our top 5 Heisman. Michigan and Wisconsin. Any chance of an upset? Who you got?
Give me the Wolverines and no. no upset.
Simple. Michigan as well for me, even though it pains me as an Ohio State fan. And I don't think there's a chance of an upset. Purdue and Illinois. Any chance of an upset here, and who are you taking?
No, give me the Illini.
I mean, Barry Odin's been another name that's been talked about for numerous jobs. Could I see an upset here? Shot in the dark? Give me Illinois. Oh, poor UCLA. Oh,
yeah.
Poor UCLA. I wouldn't even show up.
I think Penn State goes to California, even though it's a cross-country trip. They're going to blow them out of the water at home. I think it's revenge time for the Nittany Lions. Get back to their fourth win.
Get back to whipping.
Yep.
Give me Penn State. Absolutely no chance of an upset. Washington and Maryland. Dare I say, could we put Washington on upset alert?
Yes. I'm taking the Terrapins. Stay undefeated.
I'm going to say an upset here too. Give me the Fighting Turtles of Maryland. Or, better yet, give me the Fighting Mike Loxleys of Maryland to upset Washington. Oh. Yeah. Wait. UL Monroe's 3-1?
Uh-huh.
UL Monroe and Northwestern. Northwestern's 11.5 point favorite. Any chance of an upset?
No, I'm going to take Northwestern. I think they'll get their third win.
I also think they get their third win. No chance of an upset. Nebraska and Michigan State. Any chance of an upset here?
I'm going to take the Cornhuskers, but I think there's a shot in the dark that the Sparty throws an upset here. It throws a cog in the Big
you know what we say about Iowa? I feel like Michigan State's starting to become that second team in the Big Ten. That little bug. You think they're gone.
But they're not.
Yep. Especially with Jonathan Smith. I'm also going to take Nebraska, and I think there's a shot in the dark that there's an upset. Ohio State, Minnesota. Minnesota fans, there will not be any upset here. It is the shoe at night. Give me Ohio State by 1,000,000.
Yep, I'm in the same boat. Rowing that boat.
Right to a loss for PJ Fleck. And we're going to wrap up the game picks in the SEC. Starting at noon on Saturday, Kentucky and Georgia. Any chance of an upset here? And who are you taking?
No, Bulldogs all the way. They bounce back after their loss to Alabama.
I dare I say, should Kentucky even show up for this game? I don't think they should. I think they should just forfeit. I'm also going Georgia, and I think it's going to be a blowout. Texas and Florida.
It pains me to say this, but no way is Florida going to show up. Texas will maul them in the swamp.
I'm also going Texas, and I think, like you said, it's going to be maul. We talked about Alabama, Vanderbilt, in the preseason. I wish we had a way to go back. Is Bama on upset alert?
No, and the only reason I say no, but is they're at home. If this was in Nashville, where where Vanderbilt plays, I would say this, but no. I think it's going to be much closer of a game than a lot of people predict it's going to be. But I think Bama gets over the top here and gets on that winning track that after beating Georgia last week.
I'm going to say, well, what do you give it for upset? Shot in the dark?
I'll give it a shot in the dark because Vandy's beat them before. So, absolutely.
I'm also going to go Bama, and I'm going to say it's a punter's chance that there's an upset here. punter's chance. I'm not saying no chance. I'm not saying shot in the dark. I'm right in the middle. Oh, boy. People are picking on Oklahoma, saying, oh, what if Oklahoma barely survives Kent State?
Nope. That'll be a blowout at home.
Even without their starting quarterback.
It'll be a blowout at home because the following week they play Texas in the Red River Shootout, but they're not going to overlook Kent State. They'll get tuned up for the Texas game.
I agree. I'm also taking Oklahoma, Mississippi State, Texas A&M. Who are you taking? Any shot at an upset?
Well, again, another team that I think we were a lot wrong on with the Bulldogs and Mississippi State. I'm going to say it's a shot in the dark, but I'm taking the Aggies. They're at home in College Station. Tough place to win on the road. So I'm taking the Aggies.
I'm also going to say shot in the dark. I'm going to take A&M, but I'm also going to take the points and Mississippi State.
Okay.
I think A&M wins, but I think we see a backdoor cover at the end of the game from A&M. I mean, from Mississippi State.
Gotcha.
And to finish off the show, ladies and gentlemen, we have our top 5 Heisman list after 5 games of the season. Bradley, you can go first.
I'm going to start at number 5, and I'll go up. I know, again, they had a bad game last week. I'm going to take Gunnar Stockton, the quarterback from Georgia, as my number 5.
My number 5 is, and I wanted to put him at number 1, but I had to put him at 5, Jeremiah Smith, Ohio State. He is one of the best receivers in college football. Who is your number 4?
He's my number 4, bud. Jeremiah Smith's my number 4. Mm-hmm.
My number 4 is Jamari Taylor, University of Virginia. And who is your number 3?
Dante Moore, Oregon.
My number 3 is Ty Simpson, Alabama. And it's simple. He has shown and proved that he can be a really good quarterback. Who is your number 2?
Carson Beck, Miami.
Another guy we talked low about in the preseason.
Yep.
My number 2, another Buckeye, and I think he needs to get votes for the Heisman, Caleb Downs, safety, Ohio State. We talked about it earlier, ladies and gentlemen, in the show. Caleb Downs is one of the best safeties in college football. And your number 1 Heisman, who is number 1 on your Heisman list?
Fernando Mendoza. I talked about him earlier as my top 15 players. He's my pick so far.
My number 1 is John Mateer, Oklahoma, and I know he's injured right now, but I think he'll be back for the Texas game. I'm not buying this that he's going to be out for a month, 2 months. I think he's going to be back for the Texas game. They said, oh, we're going to send him out for Kent State.
Smart.
Because smart. We know who we got the following week. We got Texas.
Yep.
And before we sign off, tell them about your show.
We'll be back, guys, on Thursday. The Walker Report. We'll be talking, of course, MLB baseball playoffs have started. The hockey season's right around the corner. So we'll have hockey to talk about. Talk about, obviously, college football and NFL. I think that's about it. I was putting notes together. We could talk about the Ryder Cup and how bad Team USA really stunk it up at Bethpage. We'll talk about that on Thursday as well.
Yes. Cool cat. Renee. I think Caleb Downs will win the Jim Thorpe Award for the best defensive player. The best college football duo podcasting let me retry that. The best duo in college football podcasting. Alec and Bradley signing off under the lights. We will see everybody again on Thursday, but it will not be college football. It will be our new wrestling podcast, Broken Tables podcast, debuting Thursday at 5:30. Leave your comments in the comment section on this video on the topics we talked about or other questions you have about college football. Both Bradley and I will respond to them. But you can find both of us on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Bradley, tell them your Twitter.
It's at Brad Walker 3083 is my Twitter handle. You can hit me up on that one.
On X.
On X. Yep.
And mine is Pekino. Mine is CFB AP 2024. You can DM us, ask us questions, but until Thursday, have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday night. Everybody, I will see you with the Blitz and Glory podcast, probably between 9 and 10 o'clock. But this podcast will probably return in 2 weeks because we are also doing wrestling next Tuesday. But we will see everybody on Thursday.
Good night, guys.